Hello, everyone. Joshua Heston, co-producer of Dark Ozarks.
Lisa Martin, co-producer of Dark Ozarks.
And we are in a historic cemetery just outside of Hollister, Missouri. This is Gobbler's Knob Cemetery. For those of you who don't speak Ozarkian, that means Turkey Mountain.
Yes, and it is a beautiful spot.
It is. It's truly, truly beautiful. Beautiful day, and something that I think we work pretty hard to do, especially with Dark Ozarks, is to remind people that cemeteries are oftentimes not creepy places.
No, they aren't. Actually, I find them soothing usually. Very few are actually haunted.
True, and so many times if there are hauntings, they're typically not particularly assertive or certainly not negative in many cases. That's a horror movie trope and a 1980s trope that is the reality does not live up to the hype.
No, and usually if there is a haunting, it's usually something unrelated to actually being a cemetery.
Which throws people off in terms of the research.
Right. They don't dig far enough.
And this is such an interesting juxtaposition for me. Hollister, as you know, we've noted many times, is a very new town in the scheme of things. But this region, in terms of its early settlement and pre-Civil War settlement, is not new.
No, there were people in the region.
This particular cemetery is very close to the Springfield-Harrison Wagon Road.
Yes.
That was opened in the early 1830s and was basically the highway from Springfield, Missouri, down to Arkansas, ultimately to Little Rock.
Yes, and so not an easy road to go back in the day.
No, it was hewn out of a wilderness. Something that is also interesting is this area was the summer hunting ground for the Osage.
Yes. And it has a very, very solemn, almost sacred feel to the entire area.
There's a lot here. There's actually, if you go over one highway over and then go north, there is an Osage spring.
Oh, neat.
Up near Highway 76, and it was a spring that the Osage regarded as sacred, and was also a spring around which they would do their autumn root and leaf gathering for medicinal purposes.
Oh, neat. Well, and a lot of people may not realize in this region that a lot of the place names and places that had early significance really started as significant locations for the Osage.
They did. And those trails.
And the trails,
yes. So many of the trails that later became wagon roads, and then became telegraph roads, and then became ultimately highways. And so you could be driving over a lot of history and have no idea.
Right. Well, we just drove over some that's been a trail for hundreds of years. So. Yeah.
And we're a hop, skip, and a jump away from Murder Rocks.
Yes.
Alpha Boland's hangout. One of our more unsavory and perhaps misunderstood, we're still doing research on that, outlaws and bushwhackers of the Civil War era.
Yes.
Lots and lots of stuff. We are also just a couple of miles from the Arkansas state line.
Yeah.
So really, again, just a neat crossroads in it. You know, getting out into the field, it's very important to do the research that we do every week, which involves a lot of reading and a lot of digging through files, etc. But is really good to get out in the field and actually feel the ground underneath your feet.
And that's where we get our inspiration.
It is.
And hopefully can convey a bit of that to you all.
Absolutely. And as always, we thank you for watching. Thank you for following along with us, subscribing and liking and following and all the things one does on social media, etc.
Yes.
And we'll see y'all soon.